Bears quarterback Mitchell Trubisky is having a difficult third season in the NFL. The Bears are struggling, the offense is struggling, and Trubisky is struggling. After Sunday's loss to the LA Chargers, Coach Matt Nagy suggested that Trubisky go back, Chris, and look at the TV copy of the game so he can get a different perspective as to how Trubisky comes across, his facial expressions, his demeanor, and Trubisky addressed the topic at his Wednesday press conference, indicating that after watching the TV copy of the game, he wasn't very thrilled with how he came across. Here's Trubisky from Wednesday.
I really wasn't doing much. I really wasn't showing any body language. It was mostly just like a guy who looked super serious and kind of tense, and that's really not me, especially when you're going out in the field and playing the game you love. You should be out there having fun, which I usually am, but I just am not showing that. So I think I could portray that in different ways, especially that my teammates can feed off of.
Okay, Chris, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that this works, and I don't know how normal this is. You played quarterback in the NFL. Had you ever done that? Had you ever had it suggested to anyone? Is this new, or is this something that's gone on for years that we just never heard about?
Well, I think it's, I don't think it's like a common thing where the coach goes, hey, go check out the TV copy and watch your, body language. No, that doesn't go on. But I do think that, coaches preach to their quarterbacks about, the way you act, your mannerisms. They're, what do I want to say? Infectious to the team. What am I trying to say there? I'm trying to say that the way you act can filter down to the rest of the team. If you're moping around as the quarterback, well, the team's going to mope. So you got to be aware of what you're putting out there as far as just your aura or the perceived way of how you feel during the game. Now, John Gruden always made me aware of that. Hey, man, you got to bring some juice. Guys are looking to you. You got to stay positive. Don't get down and sulk when things are bad. And added to that too, not only was I aware, of course I grew up in it, but when the game was over, I wanted to go home and I wanted to sit on the couch and watch the highlights. And, of course, I wanted to watch the highlights even more if I played a really good game. But I was going to watch them if I played bad, too, because I wanted to look at what I looked like, what my body language and facial expressions were, and if they were acceptable to me, even though I don't always like, I didn't like to watch myself that way. But I knew those were important things, and I did want to have an awareness about how my actions and things like that, where they might be as far as affecting the rest of the team.
Recent case in point, also a Bears quarterback, Jay Cutler, when Adam Gase was there as the offensive coordinator in 2015, one of the big challenges was to get Cutler to be sensitive to how he came across.
Right,
when he'd pull the chin strap off and have his head down walking off the field and do those things that create the perception and then the reality that there's an attitude problem, there's a demeanor problem, and it does rub off on teammates. And Chris, I feel weird. I've been praising Aaron Rodgers so much this year, but he deserves it. That Monday night game against the Lions.
Yeah.
All those shots of his face after guys were dropping passes, right? And he managed to keep that serenity now expression.
Right.
And it's important. It's critical. And it worked because look, he knows how to work with his players and his teammates. And if you start making faces and grimacing, they're going to know about it. They're going to see it. They're going to feel it. And it's going to make it harder for them to perform the way they need to.
That's right. They feel it. I mean, when the pressure starts to get on them, not only because of the game and now the coaching staff, but like if you drop a ball and, now Aaron Rodgers his body language is mad and he might, MF you or say something like that, you start to go, gosh, now I feel the pressure for him. I don't want to let him down. I hope I don't mess that up. That can get into players' heads. So it's all part of the quarterback position. That's why it is such an important position, not only because you have the ball in your hands so much, but you are the leader of the team. You're the captain of the ship, at least is on the offensive side of the ball for sure. And yes, the way you handle yourself in the huddle, meeting rooms, all of those things, that's why these teams do these deep dives into personalities and everything when it's coming draft time, because they want to know, what this guy is like on an everyday 24/7 basis, what's he's like when the crap hits the fan, and what is he like when things are awesome. And all those things go into making a great quarterback. And you're right. Aaron Rodgers, I think, has turned the corner there as far as being even a better leader there. And Trubisky, you know, a lot of this is set up by, of course, the Bears fans. And I do look at Matt Nagy being a little responsible with this, too, because I don't think he always gave him the greatest public votes of confidence when he was coming in the door in Chicago. So that's why he's tense. Man, the fans are on me. We're not winning, you know, and he probably feels that his coach is not maybe totally back behind him all the time. And he's probably not as loose as he'd like to be on the field.
You know, fascinating behind-the-scenes issues that can play out in Chicago after this season. What do they do about Mitchell Trubisky? Do they pick up the fifth-year option on his contract in May? As of this point, I'd say they probably don't. Does Ryan Pace feel compelled to double down with Trubisky because Pace is the guy who traded up to take him when Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson were still on the board? Do they keep going and going and going with Trubisky to justify taking Trubisky where they did in the first place, or do they move on altogether? Fascinating decisions that await the Chicago Bears, unless they can turn it around. They're still only 3-4. Right. So they still have a chance.
Yes.
But based on what we've seen in recent weeks, it doesn't look like it's going to work out for the Bears.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.